What's up, everybody? GeauxBurns compiling my wish list for things I'd like to see included with Mafia 3 coming sometime in 2016. By the way, if you have an idea or wish you would like to see included in Mafia 3 that I do not mention today, feel free and leave it below in the comment section. Or if you could pick one of my 5 wishes that you would like to see come true, whichever the 5 you like the most, let me know below as well. So let's get to it, shall we? Mafia 3. What would I like to see in my first wish, 2K and Hangar 13? Improved driving and mechanics. Now, I love playing Mafia 2. I loved it when I first played it back in 2010. I'm loving it again. But one thing I gotta say is that the driving mechanics, be it from 2015 on the Xbox 360, do feel like a chore when you're driving from point A to point B across Empire Bay. It really sucks. But hopefully Hangar 13 will improve the driving mechanics and handling in Mafia 3. I'm not expecting them to be a clone of Grand Theft Auto 5 and online, even though Rockstar and 2K and Hangar 13 are all under Take-Two Interactive. I just want the driving mechanics to be much better than they were in Mafia 2. Especially during car chasing and whenever you have to get to a certain area within a certain amount of time, having to avoid the ticking clock, compounded with the fact that you can't speed past cops because they'll pull your ass over, and if you hit a cop, they'll come after you as well. So those issues aside, I just want the driving mechanics and handling to be improved from Mafia 2, if that's not too much to ask. Moving on to the next wish that I have for Mafia 3 is the inclusion of boats, helicopters, planes, and maybe jets. Maybe not jets, but that would be really cool if we at least had boats, helicopters, and planes. Now, the New Orleans area is surrounded by a lot of water. Swamps, bayous, Lake Pontchartrain, and of course the mighty Mississippi River. So obviously the ability to swim and boats would be kind of a necessity in a game like Mafia 3. So hopefully A, Lincoln will be able to swim, and B, you'll be able to use a boat. Especially since there's obviously going to be gators swimming around in the swamps in the game, possibly other creatures as well. And the reason why I would like helicopters and planes to be added is because I'm hoping that the map in Mafia 3 is going to be much larger than that of Mafia 2, Empire Bay. And perhaps it won't just be quote-unquote New Orleans, whatever they end up calling it, and the swamps. Maybe there will also be some smaller towns and other remote locations or islands you can go fly to via chopper or plane. And here's another thing to possibly consider. Now, this may or may not happen. Baton Rouge, the capital city of the state of Louisiana, is only an hour away from the Crescent City, a.k.a. Nolens. So you got Red Stick, a.k.a. Baton Rouge. That's what we call it because that's what Baton Rouge translates to from French to English. Is itself a pretty decent sized city. But even if they don't include Baton Rouge or whatever they call Baton Rouge, the Red Stick, hopefully at the very least we'll have the New Orleans city along with some smaller towns and communities that you can venture off to either via car, boat, chopper, and perhaps even some planes. That'd be really awesome. Alright, so the third wish I have regarding Mafia 3 is more to do in Mafia 3 than we got to do in Mafia 2. Now, Empire Bay is a very beautiful city and map. It still looks good even after about 5 years when it came out on the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PC back in 2010 for Mafia 2. It's still a beautiful city, but the problem is it just feels dead. There's not much else to do besides the main story, a few side quests, driving around, collecting Playboy magazines, and of course getting into firefights with the Empire Bay PD. I would like to see included in Mafia 3 more things besides the main story, like obviously wildlife. So I don't know what we're going to be able to do with the wildlife or how we're going to be able to interact with alligators and birds and whatnot, but it'll be really cool to have that in the game as well, along with some random encounters, more activities, perhaps some side jobs you can earn extra money, like moving drugs, doing assassination jobs, escort missions where you have to protect this target or that target, that NPC from attack. You take them from point A to point B, and if you get them there safely, you get a few extra bucks in your pocket. It would just be really cool if Mafia 3 had more things to do than simply just the story and 1 or 2 side quests in order to make the city itself feel more alive, because it's New Orleans. It's a very lively city. It has a lot of culture, a lot of history to it. Hopefully we'll be able to venture into bars, have some drinks, play some pool, pool, do some dancing while jamming out to jazz and blues playing in the background, ride around on the trolleys or the horseback carriages, perhaps even a version of the Audubon Zoo might be there as well, so you can go check out some exotic wildlife like lions and tigers and bears, oh my. The occasional parade. Hopefully we'll have Mardi Gras season somewhere in the timeline, and a few brothels as well. The next wish on my list is further customization. That's right. Now, I realize Lincoln Clay looks like a total badass Vietnam War vet wearing his green army fatigues, but there's going to be times when you feel like dressing him up a little different, maybe wearing a nice suit, a nice hat, and hopefully we'll have better clothing options in Mafia 3 than we did in Mafia 2. Even though we did have clothing options in Mafia 2, one thing I disliked about that was the fact that you could not preview the clothing items in Mafia 2. You cannot see what they would look like on Vito, and I want to see what that suit or that shirt or that hat looks like on Lincoln before we purchase it. As well as a better ability to mix and match, pants with shirts, with suits, with hats, boots and shoes as well. It'd just be really cool if we had a lot of ways that we could customize Lincoln Clay's outfit and tailor it to how we want Lincoln to look, depending on our taste personally. Next, of course, is improving the gun stores, because the gun store in Mafia 2 was okay. They had some items, some ammo. That's basically all you did was buy the weapon if you didn't already have it, and B, go in to refill your ammo. I want a little bit more than just that. I want the ability to mod our weapons with extended mags, silencers, scopes, grips, various skin options, and perhaps even different types of ammo. Standard, hollow point, bulletproof, perhaps even some explosive rounds. And let's face it, Lincoln can only do so much damage with that combat knife. He needs a little bit more than just his trusty blade. Various hairstyles and tattoos would be great too that you could choose from for Lincoln, along with more than one safe house per chapter and the ability to purchase many more safe houses and legitimate businesses that can serve as A-fronts while giving you discounts, perhaps even some unique items if you purchase this store or that bar, and even some extra money in Lincoln's pocket. And I would like to have at least one safe house, apartment, condo, mansion, or home in each of the areas, whether it is a high end, a low end, a medium end. Maybe there's various options when it comes to the properties that you can purchase as safe houses in each and every area on the map. And my fifth and final wish, yes, we're finally there, is more freedom than Mafia 2. Now, Mafia 2 was an awesome game. Let me reiterate that. For 2010, it was badass. But 5 years later, we need something a little bit more, because after completing a mission, you basically feel like you're being forced by the game to return to your safe house in order to start the next chapter. I mean, sure, there's some things you can do in between, like drive around, shoot or run over people, get into firefights with the cops like I mentioned, or you could just go off buying weapons for the weapons you don't already have, or more ammo if you need some ammo, or clothes if you haven't bought all the clothes yet. You could also make some extra money by selling stolen cars for scrap or to ship away overseas down at the port. But that was pretty much all you really could do in Mafia 2. So hopefully in Mafia 3 we won't be forced to go back to the safe house after finishing a mission. It'll be like, hey, you know what, if you want to go back to your safe house, feel free and do so. But there's all this other fun stuff Lincoln can do as well. And when you feel like starting the next chapter in Mafia 3, you go on back to your safe house, or go here or go there, and you feel free and start it at your leisure. See, that would be awesome, along with more stuff. And I realize some people complain about having too much to do in a game, but as the not so old saying goes, too much stuff to do in Mafia 3 is way better than too little. And there you have it, my wish list concerning Mafia 3. We went over improved driving and mechanics and handling, adding boats, helicopters, planes, possibly jets to Mafia 3, more to do than Mafia 2, player customization, as well as more freedom than Mafia 2. Let me know below in the comment section which of these wishes is your fave, which one you think should be implemented for Mafia 3. Oh, I do have a bonus wish for Hangar 13. When you do roll out DLC, and we all know you're going to because that's just the norm when it comes to video games, so when you do come out with an update or story DLC for Mafia 3, please make it way better than Jimmy's Vendetta. It really did suck.